Well, you earn yourself above 50,000 Kenyan shillings, or maybe let's say $500, okay? And you always claim that you're broke, you got no money. It's like you're claiming like that individual who is earning five, sometimes guys who are not employed. Let's agree unanimously here. Even before we go on with this video, you have a problem. There is an issue going on. And guess what? Let's fix it, all right? Just accept there is an issue. Let us fix it. And once you do exactly that, we're going to find the solution. And by the way, before I even say anything on this video, let me just ask a very simple question. Remember that job that used to be paid, let's talk of 10,000 at the end of the month? Do you remember that job used to be paid 10,000? Okay, if you can remember that, then can you remember this month used to be paid 15,000? Do you remember that month? Okay, then do you remember this month that used to be paid 30K, 40, 50, 60? Right now we are talking of hundreds of thousands a month. You had some problems when you are at 10K. You are complaining it is not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. Now, ask yourself, now you are at 50K. Now you are at 50K. You are at 70K. You are at 100. Some of you are even earning millions of money per month. Now, the question is this. What do you think is going on? Do you think it's the employer who is the problem, or it's you? For example, if today you take a pen and paper and write for a job application, or maybe you type it, and then they tell you the prospective amount of money that you can earn in this job is 60,000. What does it mean? Don't act surprisingly if that amount of money is not enough, unless a crazy thing happens, unless something shows up in your life. What you're supposed to do is to actually plan yourself and understand, hey, guess what? I am expected out of this 70,000, out of this 50,000, out of this 100,000 to eat, drink, or should I say sustain your life, and also make sure that I develop. Remember one thing, let me just show you a secret. There are two things that you must satisfy them concurrently. Okay, number one, we usually have things we call them the what? The sustainabilities. That's what sustains you. This is where things like food, the shelter, things like transport, things like school fees, okay, things like, black tax, that is helping people and what have you, things to do. These are called sustainabilities. They ought to be clothing, entertainment, drinking, all those kind of things. We fall them under sustainability or sustainables. They don't make anything extra there. No, they don't. See, when you enjoy yourself, you feel happy, you put on a nice dress, you go there, grab yourself a nice coffee, you pay your school fees, you pay your house rent, you dress, they have nothing to do with their development. Nothing. This is just sustainables. It's only that you look elegant. You see, when anybody eats this and the other one eats, if someone eats sushi and other one eats ugali or fufu or whatever you guys eat out there, the point is we are going to get the ATP molecules. That's the source of our energy. But the fact remains, hey, it's all about food. It's only that you're eating in a different way. It's only that you're eating yours in a luxurious way or something. But the fact remains, all those are sustainables. The other thing, we call them the development. You see, the development. These are the things that brings a difference between person A and B. This is when you invest your money. See, this is when you buy your car. Maybe it can be a transport car. This is when you buy a property or something of sort. You see, now when you talk about development, this is what brings a difference between person A and B. And remember one thing, we are talking about 50,000. We're talking about 60, 70 or something of sort. That amount of money ought to fill these two baskets: the basket of sustainability and the basket of development. Now, see, what happens to you is that you usually concentrate on the basket of sustainabilities. You pay your school fees, you enjoy yourself, you do all those kind of things, and then you tend to think in life that you're progressing. No, you're not. One day you'll be shocked when you hit your 60s. They tell you, hey, you can no longer work with us. We consider you retired. You're not productive. Hey, we'd rather bring some other guys, new guys on board to take over from you, and those kind of things. That's the time the reality hits you. You are like, what? How can I sustain? Because I have not used to these streets. Now, that's the reality. So if you're earning this amount of money and you're always complaining, you are complaining when you were earning 10, still now you're still complaining on how much that money is not enough. Well, I agree. There is an increase in what we call the responsibilities. The bills has been increasing. You had no kids, now you have kids and all those kind of things, okay? And now the point is this. When you actually get yourself in this kind of a lifestyle, guess what is happening? Even if you get an increment right now of 20,000 on top of what you earn right now, guess what happens? You also up your expenditure. That's the problem. You see, there's something called, what the problem that you guys do is that, for example, say you're earning 50K right now, and then you told, hey, there is an increment of like 20K. All right, so that means that you'll be earning 70K. So what happens? Let's say here you are living in a house rent was like Let's give it a take of 12K or something of sort, and then maybe blah 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 and all those kind of things. Let's say your expenses at this point or this time, it was around talk of 35K. That was your expenses. So you are saving how much? 15K. Now here you are, 20K has been added. Now you are actually surviving on what? Or you actually getting what? 70,000. Now this 20K, guess what? There is that house usually pass by and you feel like, damn, if I get some money, I'll actually migrate to that place. I just love the place. You know, it's quite elegant, it's posh, it's quite cool, you know, there are no noises and all those kind of things. That's how we reason once we get money. Guess now what happens once you're at your 70K? Now you think like, come on, it doesn't hurt. I can actually go ahead and grab like, why not pay that 20,000 for my house rent? So you end up going out there and paying your 20K for your house rent. So how much have you increased from here? You have increased with 8K. All right. So if you go to food, maybe let's say you are the food category, you are surviving at, let's say, an equal amount of 12,000 at this particular point. Let's say you are surviving at 12K. Now what happens? Come on, guys, don't worry. Money is there. I mean, there is an increment of 20,000 out there. You guys don't struggle. We can actually add one time that we can usually go to grab those coffees or maybe be happy or something of sort. So if food was 12K, now it has actually shifted to 16K. 16K. Guess how much has increased from there? This is 4K plus this K. Guess what? 12K is gone. Remember there was salary increment at this particular point. So as you continue down there, you adjust even your life. You adjust what you do, how you behave, when and how you buy, and all those kind of things. So by the time you realize you're actually in a situation whereby you still complain the same problem. Why? Because this is what's happening. This is what you're doing. The salary, this is your salary, all right? This is your salary. Then there is an increment. And guess what happens to your expenditure? You also increase your what? Your expenditure, all right? Or your expenses. Guess what happens? You never realize, you never do what? You never realize a change, okay? So if you don't realize any change, therefore it means this basket where you are surviving on, what if happened, what if you did this? You get your 50,000, there is an increment of 20,000, obviously, why don't you tell your buddy, come on, I'm just earning 50K. You take your 20K plus the 15K. You have your 35,000. Let's say your aim was to get 300,000. Then if you could have taken you like 2 years or 3 years, then it could take you shorter period of time because now you are saving more than double. That's the reality. That's the problem that comes in. The moment you get money, what comes in your mind, you think it's a commodity, it's a something to be used, it's something to be consumed rather than a tool to make you more of it. And that's what we say, you're having a consumer mindset. And that is the worst thing that you can ever have as far as the money is concerned. And guess what? You forever and ever complain. Now that's the problem. The problem, we have identified it. The problem is the consumer mentality. That's what you have, or we call it consumerism. Now, what is the solution? Okay, now let's get into the solution. The solution is to actually appreciate the fact that there is a problem. That is the genesis of actually solving a problem. Now after accepting, now you see the solution. And this will be the solution. Whenever there is an increase in income, I would advise you to actually hold constant what? Your expenses. Hold constant your expenses. There is an increment of that. That is option 1. That is the recommended one. Actually, if you ask me, I would say this is the recommended one. This is the recommended. But hey, things do happen. Maybe there was something that you were really straining or something of sort, 1, 2, 3. So if then you have to increase your expenditure after the increment of salary or income. Then increase considerately. Considerately. You see, when I say considerately, I simply mean you increase that amount of money in terms of the expenditure, bearing in mind you would like to as well realize an increase in terms of your savings. I'll repeat my point. You can increase, yes, that is no problem, but just increase it in a considered way, in a considerate way. Don't just poof and then you consume everything and anything. Okay, what I say is this: make sure that at least if you want to improve or increase your expenditure, just increase it, a little bit, such that you don't even affect, so that you can realize that increment. Take it as an opportunity. This is an opportunity that you can grab, put it out there, make you more money, and you progress to the next step. But now this issue of getting the money, the moment you get it, you actually consume it, and by the time you realize 40 years is down the line, you're going to retire, you've never done anything, then you start blaming anyone and everyone around you. So hold constant, or if you have to improve, then improve it a little bit. Number 2, you can only do so. See, you cannot focus on improving or maintaining it constantly if you cannot understand your numbers. Perhaps you've ever heard of me talking about this in a billion times. I keep on repeating this point because people tend to forget. Never forget your numbers. You have to understand your numbers. You have to know your numbers very well. Number two, you have to understand your goals. What do you aim? At what time do you want to start this business? That is according to you. Well, now the point is this: as you understand, hey, guess what? I'm looking forward into getting a million shilling. I'm looking forward to getting 300,000. I'm looking forward into getting an X amount of money. Then you ask yourself, this is the amount of money that I'm capable of saving each and every month. Therefore, it means if I was to save this amount of money in this period of time, or rather in this monthly, then I would require an X period of time for me to achieve that amount of money that I'm looking for. Hope I'm making sense. Rather than just walking aimlessly. You say you would like to save 100,000, you say you'd like to save 3, 4, or 5 million, or whichever the amount of money, but you do not have a utilized way or framework on what you can actually rely on to achieve exactly that. All right, I hope you're still together. And by the way, I forgot to remind you a very important thing that you're supposed to do it right now. By the way, just below down there is a small button written subscribe. It is in black. Hit that magical button. By the way, it doesn't cost anything. All right, I'll tell you the importance of that. Now, the other thing I need you to do is to just like this video. It's just telling me like, hey, Joseph, I like this job. It doesn't cost you nothing. All right, guess what? If you like this video, get suggested to majority of people, then we make this a house, a big family. And by the way, if you subscribe, you get to be notified every time I upload a new good video, because I do so each and every day. Now that is the important. And by the way, I would love to hear as well what you're talking about, what is your mind. Down below there is a section where it says comment. Just leave something down there, okay? Now, that's the point. So if you realize you're actually earning this amount of money, let's just break some things so that you be like, hey, yeah, 50,000 is like a small amount of money. Yeah, I know some people who are diaspora will be like, that's a small amount of money. It is not. Let's just break some few things. And by the way, this information is from a reliable sources called the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, or what, something of sort. Now, this is the one that keeps the records about census and what. They said people who are earning actually above 100,000 actually fall under 0.1% of Kenyans. So if you're actually earning this amount of money, you fall under, well, not more than 5% around there. It's like you're still under the top 10% of people who are earning this amount of money. So in this category, actually considered one of the wealthiest people in terms of their earnings. True. I'm not joking. I'm damn serious. That's the reality. Because in Kenya, most of the people usually earn a salary of ranging 15K, 15,000, 15K. And all the due respect to those who earn below this, they might be like, nah. There is us who earns less than this. Yeah, they are. But just take a flat rate of 15,000 all the way to 60K. That is where over 75% people earn that amount of money. So if you get yourself above this category, damn, I'm telling you, you're actually one of those guys who we consider them the cream de la cream in this society. So anyway, do something as far as your money is concerned. Make sure that you channel much money towards your investment, towards your growth. And by the way, I know I've never heard of somebody talking about, hey, after investing now you can eat your money. Let's first of all invest. Once we invest, then I'll be making videos about how you can spend your money. Okay, so anyway, for now, make sure that if you'd like to get my services at a personal level, you can grab my number from the description of this specific video, shoot me a call, or you can email me. There is a email that I'll leave out there. You can grab my booklets about investments. I got them, all right? And also you can actually give me a call. We can have a conversation about financial guidance, financial investment, or financial literacy and financial management skills. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one. See ya.